And here we are. Here we are. Welcome. It's your boy Jay the Flash here with our Week 7 NFL review. What a great week of games. A lot of upsets. Adjust that curtain real quick. There we go. Bender and then this one here. Better-ish, I guess. I don't know if that made it worse or better. It kind of made it better or worse, didn't it? I can't tell anymore. All right. Like I said, what a great slate of games. Off week for the Cowboys, so nothing going on for us, but still a good bye week for us a little bit. And we'll get into that as we get down to the later slate of games. We'll go through all the games real quick, give you my thoughts on what week 7 was like, and just kind of preview a little bit of week 8. Very excited. Football is definitely in the swing, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. So we're going to kick it off with the Jags at the Saints. Jags 31, Saints 24. Very solid performance yet again by the Jags. I would like to see them clean up the second half just a little bit because they should have. I mean, they did win this game, but they were running away with this game. Saints offense coming alive a little late. Maybe that could be good for them in the future now that their offense was kind of clicking there at the end, but they've definitely got to figure out something because if their defense doesn't show up, they're not winning games. So there's a lot of good offenses in this league they got to play, and I don't see the Saints going super far, but if they want to at least make the playoffs, they got to get that offense kind of shored up, get Derek Carr playing better. That's what you went and got him for. So, and like I said, the Jags just very solid game. Defense was looking pretty good again. Trevor Lawrence playing a little injured, still looking good. Just clean up, finish strong. You start off really good, finish strong. Bears 30, Raiders 12. Battle of the backup quarterbacks here. Bears take the win, which kind of is it a tell of are the Bears better than their record shows, or are the Raiders really just that bad? I think it's the Raiders are just really that bad. I think the Raiders they don't have the right coach. I've never believed in Josh McDaniels as a head coach. He's never given me a reason to believe in him as a head coach. I think we're kind of learning with Belichick as well. Brady kind of helped them. Brady knew how to run that system very well that they were implementing. So I'm not saying it was all Brady, but like that trio worked well together. And so far, Daniels and Belichick aren't enjoying the same success now that Brady's moved on from them. So you gotta figure that out down the line. Good win for the Bears. Solid win with Justin Fields being out. Are they gonna finish high? Probably not. Still, do they end up getting a quarterback spot in this draft? Do they take it? Are you done with Justin Fields? I don't think you give up on Justin Fields that easily. He's obviously a very dynamic player, and I think they just still need to figure out just their systems in general. But a good, solid win for him, and I think you'll see some of the Raiders players start getting thrown out on the market here. We're coming up to draft deadline. This is where the big teams make their moves and try to get that push for the Super Bowl. So we'll see if the Raiders are some of those a team that people are willing to play with and see if they can't get some of those players. A really exciting game. Browns 39, Colts 38. After the win last week on 49ers, the Browns were kind of riding pretty high. Great offensive performance. Terrible defensive performance for a little bit in the most part, but Myles Garrett making the plays when they needed him the most. He's definitely the defensive player of the year frontrunner right now, in my opinion, with Micah's kind of recent struggles and Nick Bosa's recent struggles. TJ Watt really not making huge splashes, but still right there. I think it goes Miles, TJ, and then Micah and Nick are right below them. And I want to throw Fred Warner in there. I think the fact that Fred Warner doesn't get talked about enough in the defensive player of the year is kind of a travesty. That man is definitely a game wrecker, and he definitely has the Dallas Cowboys number. So I definitely want to throw him in that race as well. But making the play when they need it the most. Questionable call there by the referees. There's actually a couple of the games again where the referees are they're timely calling on penalties and stuff like that is, I think, really affecting this game or affecting some games. And I'm hoping that means a rule change is coming down. I don't see why they can't just have an official that's at, another official at the game watching back the replays that can just buzz down and say, hey, you guys missed this, let's change it. Like, I don't understand why we can't do that. I don't think they would be, if you're trying to keep the refs' spirits or make them feel like they still matter. Like, I still think they do. Like, they still make great calls here and there, but these missing of the bad and obvious penalties are really affecting the game, I think. And I think it's affecting fans as well, and you're just getting more and more chaos for that. So I think they need to change it. And this is one of the games that kind of showed that. There was a couple games on the college scene as well that it kind of changed that. So hopefully a rule change is coming. We'll see. Browns keeping their momentum. Again, a close one against Colts and Gardner Minshew because Anthony Richardson is out. So I think the Colts, I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year with the injuries that are kind of up and down. But they're going to be a solid team. They're going to be right in the mid-tier, and they'll be ready for next year. They need to make a couple more moves, I think, in the draft. Maybe getting another standout wide receiver for Anthony Richardson, and maybe a couple more defensive players next year. But the Colts are on their way back, so congrats to them. And the Browns, again, keeping up that way, and that AFC North is going to be tough. It's going to be, record-wise, I think the best division in football, like the NFC East was last year, so we'll see how that goes. One of the surprises coming now, something I didn't expect, Patriots 29, Bills 25. The Bills offense, again, kind of struggling to get started, to find momentum. The defense did everything they could, but I think they were just on the field so much that they kind of gave up some plays here and there. Mac Jones finally, leading a game-winning drive here. Maybe not spelling the end for Mac Jones in New England. Maybe still, one game doesn't make a season, as we know. But very shocking win here for the Bills. They definitely need to right some ships going forward. They're struggling to be consistent, and you can't not have consistency and expect to make the Super Bowl. So definitely need to pick something up here and figure it out. But as far as the Patriots go, they're picking up a win there. I don't see them making the playoffs either, so it's just more of a kind of, you hate to say it, but a moral victory for them throughout the season to say, hey, we beat the Bills. So we'll see where it keeps going. Bill Belichick picking up his 300th win. Congrats to him. That's a pretty big milestone in any coaching career. So congrats to that for him on that. And we'll see where it keeps going. This one was actually not a surprise to me, but maybe a surprise to others. Giants 14, Commanders 7. The Commanders haven't shown any consistency this year. It was in New York, and I figured, the way Tyrod Taylor played last week and the way the Giants kind of held the Bills down last week, I thought they were going to come off and play very strong. Tyrod Taylor is a very veteran quarterback in this league, and he knows what he's doing when he needs to get a win. It was a very solid win for the Giants. I don't see them finishing above 500 or making the playoffs. They definitely need to rethink some things. They definitely signed the wrong person this year. I think they should have franchise tagged Daniel Jones, signed Saquon Barkley, because now I think you're going to lose Saquon in the next year. And JJ's here with us now. So yeah, definitely not good for them. Hey, not so loud, Kay. They got to rethink a lot of things coming in their offseason. The Commanders, again, like I said, no consistency. Looking great one week, looking bad the next week. So far, they've lost to two of the bottom teams in the league, but they've competed with some of the top teams. So they just need to find that consistency somewhere, and I still think they'll be one of the ones fighting for a wild card spot at the end. It'll definitely be for 7th, but we'll see where it goes. Falcons 16, Buccaneers 13. Baker Mayfield's kind of starting to slow it down a bit on where he started off in the season. The Falcons, like I said, they're a very young team, and they're very young teams win close football games more often than not. And they're not going to be a world beater this year, but they're building. I think they still need to look at the quarterback position. I don't think Desmond Ridder is that guy, but they have a very And something up with Bijan this week. Hopefully everything gets figured out there because it was a headache. So hopefully it's not concussion related or head injury related. But he definitely needs to come back because he was looking like Rookie of the Year candidate. Now I'm going to push that on to C.J. Stroud. But they're definitely playing very solid. And very great win for them. And again, the NFC South's going to come down to who wins that division, who gets the playoff spot. So they're fighting back and forth. Congrats to them on that. Buccaneers, like I said, Baker's just kind of slowed down a little bit. Defense is still looking strong. They only gave up 16 points. Offense just needs to find a groove again. I'm assuming they will. Baker usually turns it around somewhere through the season. Okay, hey, put the sand on the table, please. No sand on the floor, remember? Another shocker for me, honestly. I picked the Lions in this game. I know a lot of other people picked the Ravens, but Ravens 38, Lions 6. I don't think that it was a surprise that the Ravens won. I thought it was going to be a close game. Okay, drop it on the floor. Put it on the table. I thought it was going to be a lot closer game than this, but the Ravens winning 38-6 is very much a shock to me. This defense for the Lions I thought was on a trend up. And, not allowing a lot of points the last couple weeks. And Lamar was cooking. Lamar was cooking really good. Looking like MVP Lamar again, which could be very dangerous for the AFC if you got Lamar looking like that. Do I think they can consistently do it? They haven't proven so we'll wait and see how that goes throughout the year. But, a huge win. A lot of people had the Lions as the number one ranked team as far as power ranking goes last week, and they fall here. And not in good fashion either. Like I said, if it was a close game, I don't think you mind it too much. But the offense was kind of struggling to get rolling. Maybe we cooked a little bit too much on Jared Goff being able to keep that consistency, but he hasn't shown us that it wasn't a consistency issue with him. A lot of time they scored a lot of points, their defense just gave up more. So this time around they just couldn't keep up with the Ravens, and Ravens picking up a very impressive win. Steelers 24, Rams 17. Again, I think a little bit of surprise for me, but not a huge surprise. Steelers coming off their bye week. Usually you can trust in Mike Tomlin to keep that going. The Rams, again, they kind of just don't have an identity, I feel like some weeks they know who they are, and then some weeks they don't. So, they've got a good test coming up in Dallas. I'm 100% riding Dallas on the game. I always will. But I also, if I wasn't a Dallas fan, I think Dallas is going to be coming off a bye week again to play a team that just lost to another team coming off a bye week. So I feel like the Rams definitely offensively have the scheme to kind of mess with our defense. Although last year showed, with that offensive line, others being injured as much, we just ate, all day. So we'll see how that goes. I think our offense needs to have a big performance. I'd like to see a breakout from Tony Pollard in that game to really take it to the Rams. But the Steelers, they're hanging strong. It wasn't just, a couple weeks ago, everybody was calling for Matt Canada to be fired. I still don't think he's doing great. I think the team's winning in spite of him because Mike Tomlin is a great head coach. If the Steelers were to ever move on from him, he'll have a job instantly somewhere else. Definitely a good leader of men, I feel like. Although he has lost the locker room a few times with some of the more chaotic players, but I don't think a lot of people could have controlled Antonio Brown or Le'Veon Bell the way that he would have had to have. But yeah, great win for the Steelers, and they have to. This, like I said, this NFC North it's win, keep winning. You have to keep winning until you face each other. So it's going to be a very, very good division. Seahawks 20, Cardinals 10. An ugly win for the Seahawks, but still a win. You got to keep pace, and with the Niners losing yesterday, that's a good win for the Seahawks. The Cardinals, they didn't look bad. They just definitely more mistakes. And again, this team's kind of a Frankenstein team if you think about it. With the Kyler Murray being out, they let Colt McCoy, who is a very reliable backup for them, go and bring in Joshua Dobbs, who's doing really great. He's got, running wise, I think he has the most rushing touchdowns for quarterbacks and yardage. So that's, or maybe not the most rushing touchdown, but at least the most 20-plus yard runs or something like that, from what I understood yesterday. So looking great on the run. Pass not so much, but they're competitive. That's what we learned in the Dallas game, that Cardinals are very competitive. We've seen every other game they've been very competitive. So I don't think they're tanking like a lot of people thought they were going to this year. And I thought that was kind of still weird because, I mean, if you were ready to move on for Kyler, then it makes sense. But if you're still thinking Kyler Murray's your quarterback, then you don't move on yet. So we'll see where this season keeps going for them. I think they'll pick up 2 or 3 more wins, as hard as they play. I don't know if they'll beat Seattle or San Francisco. They might steal one from the Rams. But yeah, Seahawks again. It was ugly, but they won. Geno Smith's proven he can be a winning quarterback here. They'll be in the playoffs for sure. They will be, or right on the edge of it. So they do need to shore up some things on the offensive end. I think they need to consistently stay with the run game. I think they give up on it a little too easy, but it's obviously a win's a win. You can't argue that. Broncos 19, Packers 17. Broncos picking up another win here. I was hoping they were going to keep losing because, like I said, Patrick Surtain is my hope, but I don't think it's going to happen. And, the Packers, as hot as they started off and as good as Jordan Love was looking in the first couple weeks, he's kind of regressed back. And you got to remember, this is technically like his rookie season. He's only, started one game, I think, prior to that I don't even think he started. I think he just came in for Aaron Rodgers. So, it's technically his rookie season. He's making some mistakes here and there. The Packers defense, though, is playing really well. You only give up 19. That's not bad. The offense just cannot find a rhythm right now, and they might be one of the ones on the trade, if they want to push for the playoffs. Because I thought there for a while they were going to be a playoff team. And here was your opportunity. The Lions lost. You pick up a win here to kind of gain on the Lions. And they couldn't pull it through. So, like I said, again for the Broncos, I just wish they would lose out for the season so they start trading some of these things away and try to build up for draft capital for Sean Payton to build his actual team. But we'll see where it goes. I don't think they're going to win very many more games. I think this was kind of a weird game for them to win. And, definitely hoping for more losses for the Broncos, and Patrick Surtain gets put on that trade block, and Jerry Jones better make that call. 31, Chiefs, Chargers 17. Good solid win for the Chiefs again. That offense is looking steady now. They're doing their thing. This defense is really, really good. Probably the best defense they've had in this Patrick Mahomes run, which could be scary. Now, granted, someone could figure this out, and then it's up to Patrick and Travis and them to score and keep the win going. But right now, their defense is making it so the offense is just in kind of autopilot, honestly, to get to the playoffs. So, very, very solid win for them. Chargers, I don't know. I think it's a head coach time. I think, you lose to the Cowboys the way you do. You've lost some other games that you've lost. I think it's just time for that head coaching change. And I would not be surprised if they go on a losing streak here in the middle of the season, he's out. And, does that mean Kellen gets promoted to, interim head coach for now to see if he can do it? Or, do they go look for that veteran head coach? It's going to be very questionable. I just think Staley's done. Even if they make the playoffs, honestly, because I can see them making the playoffs on a wild card spot, but then losing. But I honestly see them possibly even missing the playoffs as well very easily, the way that their defense has been playing. So I think it's time for that coaching change there in Los Angeles. You guys have had this rebrand for the Rams and the Chargers, trying to make LA football big, and the Chargers just aren't doing it. It's not cutting it. So figure it out. You got to get it figured out. Oddly enough, the Sunday Night Football game, 31-17 as well, with the Eagles picking up the win on the Dolphins. Kind of odd. Very back-to-back scores there. Eagles are looking solid now. I think they're figuring out some of their issues. I'm not going to throw shade at Jalen Hurts because I defend Dak Prescott when interceptions are not his fault. I'd say about 75% of Jalen Hurts' interceptions this year are not on him. It's on his wide receivers tipping the ball up to somebody. So, he's playing somewhat solid. He's the thing about Jalen Hurts that I will give him credit for is he doesn't get rattled. Even when he does throw an interception, you don't see him panic. You don't see, he just comes right back out and slings it. Maybe he's going to throw an interception, doesn't matter. You need that confidence when you throw an interception just to go back out and play solid. Don't let the interception dictate the game, and that's what I think Jalen Hurts did. And honestly, the Dolphins, when Waddle gets hurt, I think sometimes they just forget that, hey, we have other weapons. I know Tyreek's your main weapon, but like you've got the reason Tyreek getting set up so good is having Waddle on the other side, and they abandoned this run game really early. And maybe it's because the offensive line, again, they have some offensive line injuries now coming up, and but you can't really make that excuse. It's next man up. You know, it's the same when Dallas lost to Arizona. Yeah, we were down 3 linemen, but we still should have won that game. Um, their run game is what sets up their really amazing pass game. So you know your defense is not as great. And as soon as maybe they get Jalen Ramsey in, we'll see how that changes their defense and the way they call things. But you're going to give up 31 to the Eagles. You better put up 40. You know, and their offense just couldn't finish the job on there. Looked like this was going to be a really solid game too. It was 17-17. Questionable call again. There's been some misses. There was a clearly pass interference / face mask that was missed on Cedric Wilson, right in front of the referee too. And that, again, you can't have that. That's what I'm talking about having this official that's up in the booth just going like, hey, dude, did you not see that? Like, you need to call that, or just like tell him, hey, yeah, that was a face mask. I know you were probably right behind the player and you were questioning where to throw it. Throw the flag. Like, and I think that's the, you know, I think it would be better for the officials because then maybe they would feel more confident in making some calls and not making some calls, knowing they have someone up there kind of covering them, right? Like, oh yeah, I better throw this. If it's wrong, he'll have me pick it up, no flag. You know, and I feel like there's got to be something because it did change the momentum of the game. I'm not saying it cost the Dolphins the game because I think the Dolphins could have still come back and won this game and played better, but it changed the momentum of the game, and that's the problem with, you know, bad officiating. If it changes momentums of the game, we need to fix it. So tush push is still in effect. I just don't see you stopping it. Watching it closely, though, I do think the NFL needs to look into it. I'm not saying that it's cheating or what it is, but the way Jason Kelce is tucking his head and kind of rolling forward, I'm just saying that's a way for a player to really break his neck. Now, granted, maybe Jason is doing really good neck exercises. He's got a very strong neck, but I'm just a little concerned about it. It did not look pretty. And I also kind of think, you know, if he's not really getting that ball snapped 100% in his hand, staying on the ball while he's going forward with Jalen, that I think that technically is illegal touch type stuff. I'd have to look up the rules. I'm not saying get rid of the tush push because obviously, you know, my counter for it would be, and hopefully the Dallas is working on this, is you get Mozzie Smith right on the nose of Jason Kelce and you just tell Mozzie to push because Mozzie is very strong and you get some people behind him. Just Alright. Sorry about that. My brother was calling to see if he can bring my niece over. So, hey, hang on. I know. Let Dad finish. We're almost done. We're almost done. But yeah, I don't get rid of it. I think it's again. I think the Eagles have proven they're the ones that can do it the best. I've seen other teams try. I like Dallas's method to it with the fake handoff and Dak running for a touchdown. So I'm okay with either or. Hopefully defenses can figure that out. Hey, come here. So don't get rid of it. I'm not on that bandwagon. I worry about Jason. I like Jason Kelce as a person. Now, granted, I hate him when we play him and so that. I think Jason Kelce's a very great person. I think he's a great representative for the NFL or so that. So I just don't want him getting hurt like that. So I would just say if he's tucking his neck and dropping like that, they need to change that rule. But other than that, I think they can keep it because I've only seen him do that like maybe once or twice. So I don't want him getting hurt in that aspect. Finally, Monday Night Football. Vikings 22, 49ers 17. 49ers once again struggling to get the win this week. A lot of people are putting it on the defense, and yeah, they converted a lot of third downs, but you could tell this defense was tired. They were on the field a lot. Even with the Vikings not scoring as much, the Vikings had control of the ball quite a bit. They drove up and down the field, pretty well. This 49ers offense is struggling at times. They get the big plays, but they can't in the last two games. I think consistently they can't keep driving the ball like they did against Dallas, and so maybe that Dallas game was a game for everybody to kind of see. Okay, this is what not to do, and now they're doing it pretty well. Purdy's regressed a little bit. Don't. I'm not gonna jump on and he's done. Type situation. They'll figure it out. I definitely think they need. Their defensive their front four hasn't been as good as they were last year. The linebackers are playing very solid, and that's why I'm saying Fred Warner is very much, should be in Defensive Player of the Year contention. But that front four hasn't been able to get the pressure that they normally get. And Bosa's not looking like Nick Bosa. Like I said, I was kind of, putting him in the defensive player. Maybe he's not even there because him and Micah both this year are kind of struggling a little bit, and I don't know if it's just the way teams are scheming around them both that are making them, hesitate a little bit, and so they're trying to figure out which way they got to get around, how many people are coming to double team me, stuff like that. But they're not looking as solid as they need to be, and Kirk Cousins had time to throw, and you're going to give Kirk Cousins time to throw. He's going to be good at it. He's not a bad quarterback by any imagination. He just can't win playoff games. So big win for the Vikings, kind of keeping their season afloat. Can this build into something for them? They got to knock off, I think, a couple wins in a row to get back up in that playoff hunt. But very solid win without Justin Jefferson. Like that's crazy. And Hawkinson got hurt a little bit, and their other wide receiver. They had guys stepping up left and right. So their run game looked really solid, which has been a little bit missing for the Vikings the last couple of years. So you definitely might want to be careful. Be careful with that. And again, I think the 49ers just need to... I don't know. They don't need to reset anything. Just get figured out. I do think some of the defensive play calling's a little weird. And new defensive coordinator, so you gotta play with that. Other than that, it wasn't too bad of a game for them. It's just not picking up that win again, 2 in a row. Gonna be you're looking at your 2 losses in. You've got the bulk of your schedule coming up. You got Philadelphia coming up. You got 2 games against Seattle coming up, where I think they're gonna lose at least one of those games to Seattle, and the Eagles are gonna be tough. So they could be looking at you want that number 1 seed getting into these playoffs this year. It's gonna be tough. Teams on the bye were the Bengals, Cowboys, Titans, Jets, Panthers, and Texans. So all just weeks for them taking it off. Hopefully, getting stuff figured out. Because the Bengals, Cowboys, and Jets and Texans all coming off wins. Titans and Panthers, or did the Texans get a win? I can't remember now. Titans and Panthers obviously coming off some losses, and their season's kind of going down. So see what the bye week does for them. Week 8's going to be solid. Dallas versus Los Angeles Rams. If it's anything like last year, we know we're getting the dub. We had the dub with even Cooper Rush last year, so I'm expecting a big game from Dak this week. I think Mike McCarthy having the bye week, maybe getting some stuff finally situated on there. Maybe they were just, getting week to week till they got to this bye week to get some stuff changed up, get some players healed up. Obviously still no Trayvon, but Leighton's going to be out again as well. But I love Leighton Vander Esch, I do, and he's my boy. He's from Idaho, so I got to support him. But I love the way Bell was playing, and so maybe when Leighton comes back, split time, or Leighton's getting moved over some spots a little bit, because Leighton's definitely a better middle run stopper than he is side to side. So maybe take that away from him so he's not as tired. I don't know. Well, there'll be some changes, hopefully. I am predicting a pretty big win, though. I'm going to go 35-17. for the win over the Rams. Don't put any money on that, please. I don't want to be blamed for that. But other than that, solid week of football. We're getting into the meat of it. We got teams going on buys and stuff like that. We're going to have a Germany game coming up soon with Kansas City and Philadelphia. I think that's going to be kind of cool. Dallas has got Philadelphia in a couple weeks. I'm going to go watch that with my buddy at Buffalo Wild Wings. He's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So, and our wives will be out of town that weekend at the Jonas Brothers concert. So we're gonna head to that, and maybe I'll do a little live stream from Buffalo Wild Wings with you guys. That'd be kind of cool. Outside of that, there's not much else I can think of. Be sure to tune in a little bit later today for Red Dead Redemption episode 28. I am not doing Church Talk on Tuesday nights anymore. I'll probably do this Saturday night. Do some more painting on the Wolfman Leo. It's just doing 3 streams in a day is rough. Doing it that late at night. I'm really wanting to spend a lot more time with my son and stuff like that. So, and we got this new dog that we're training and stuff like that. So, yeah, I appreciate you. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that follow button. Turn those notifications to on so that you can join us on the live broadcast and come have fun with us. If you watch this a little later on YouTube, just hit the like and subscribe button there as well so you know when the videos get uploaded. I will upload those usually next day or the following week. So you can go back and watch and see how bad my takes were for that week compared to now. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one.